Guys, it's Chica. Oh man. Guys, she's coming at us real fast right now. We better go that way. I just need to walk in that direction at a very mild pace because she's traveling at 1 mile per hour. Let's go, guys. I sure hope I don't trip over anything that isn't there. Oh my god, she's catching up, guys. We gotta go. Oh no, I'm a turtle, I'm a snail, I don't know how to use my feet. Oh my god, I'm just gonna stand here and watch her eat me alive. Like, can we at least try, guys? Can we make a little bit of sense? I know it's a kid's movie, haha, but like, I feel like we deserve better. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is I, the ASMR Ryan here, and today we are going to be reviewing the brand new movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, I want to start this review off by saying, if you're a massive, and I mean massive, Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I mean, you put on the slippers every night, you throw on a little Markiplier Let's Play, or a Respawn Ryan Let's Play. Yes, I'm gonna plug my gaming channel because right now I am playing through all the original FNAF games and I just played the first one. If you're into horror games or any gaming content in general that is not ASMR, please check out Respawn Ryan. Link in the description and the pinned comment. Alright, the shameless plug is over. I had the pleasure of sitting next to someone in the theater that was a massive Five Nights at Freddy's fan and was able to see their reaction throughout the movie. Now, while I was rolling my eyes and laughing at the criminally bad, I mean like AI-written dialogue, this person was having a fun time with the movie, and I think that's important to acknowledge. Maybe the movie wasn't made for me. I'm someone that likes to pick apart movies, talk about dialogue, characters, plot, and all that stuff. This person, literally every single time something popped up on screen, was like, I know that reference. And it made me happy because I got to see the movie through two different perspectives. So before you go crazy in the comments ripping me a new one because I didn't like the movie, just give me a sec. I just think with a franchise this big and a fan base this dedicated, you guys deserve at least a little more effort put into your movies. And although it opened with terrible critic reviews, I think they're sitting at a 15% with over 80% audience score, you can easily tell that the people that loved the movie showed up, they showed their support. A lot of people were in cosplays, doing their thing at the theater, and I love that so much. And with a budget of $50 million, they still opened up to over $114 million. So with numbers like that, it doesn't make sense to me why they literally did not try even a little bit when it comes to the dialogue of this movie. Things don't make sense, and it's almost like they look at you in the face and say, hey, it doesn't need to make sense. Look at Chica. Remember this? Remember this sound cue from the games? We threw it in the movie. Oh my god, did they just say the bite of 87? I know that reference. Like, come on, guys. Let's break it down. 1 year has passed since the supernatural nightmare at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Former security guard Mike has kept the truth from his 11-year-old sister Abby concerning the fate of her animatronic friends. When Abby sneaks out to reconnect with Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, she sets into motion a terrifying series of events that reveal dark secrets about the true origin of Freddy's. While all that's happening, a group of YouTubers that call themselves Spectral Scoopers, they're like ghost hunting YouTubers, they visit the OG Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location where a young girl named Charlotte was murdered by William Afton. Charlotte's spirit was then trapped inside of the Mimic's body, which again, guys, I'm probably butchering the lore here. I'm just going off of what the movie told me. And now the Mimic animatronic puppet thing is stuck in the OG Freddy Fazbear's Pizza place, and with these new YouTubers going there snooping around, they accidentally unleash that spirit of the Mimic. Now the Mimic really confused me because Charlotte was kind of painted as this little girl that was bullied, I guess. She just didn't have a lot of friends because she was the weirdo of the group. Even though a young Vanessa was like really nice to her, you know, there was a flashback scene in the beginning where Vanessa was incredibly nice to Charlotte, and Charlotte was kind of like, nah, I want to be the loner. No one understands me, you know, like one of those. This was right in the beginning of the movie, and it's not really a spoiler, but it's the first thing that made me go, oh my god, they're not even trying. This movie is going to be terrible. It starts with a flashback in the 1980s in a crowded Freddy Fazbear's Pizza place. There are kids playing everywhere, there are adults all over the place, there's workers walking around, and guess what happens? Everyone in there seems to be the dumbest person in the world except for Charlotte. Charlotte sees a little kid get kidnapped by William Afton in a giant, light-up eyes bunny suit. a giant yellow bunny. You know what he looks like. And so even though this whole place is packed with people, adults, security guards, employees, Charlotte is the only one that watches this kid right out in the open get kidnapped. But that's not even the worst part. She then goes to all the adults in that room and says, "Excuse me, I need help. A child was just kidnapped. He's in trouble. Help me save this child that's being kidnapped." You know what every adult does? You know what every single adult does? Shut up, little girl. Adults are speaking. Okay, that's literally a line. Adults are speaking. Pipe down. And I don't know what kind of hell these parents came from, but no one cares about this little girl screaming about a child in trouble. So after every adult basically brushes her off like, "Get out of here, loser," Charlotte goes and tries to save the little boy, which obviously ends up in her dying, being stabbed in the back by William Afton, which I thought was like, whoa, really dark watching a kid, die in the intro scene like that. So that was something that made me go, okay, they're dipping a little deeper into the darker side of the lore. I really hope they lean into the horror aspect, because as someone that's new to the FNAF fandom, I'm like learning this thing is gory, it's violent, it's pretty scary. And after that intro scene is done, they obviously play a super hype intro that actually kind of got me excited and made the person next to me, the massive fanboy next to me, like giddy in his seat. And it made me so happy because it reminded me of when I first saw The Purge: Anarchy, which is one of my favorite horror movies, and I know it's terrible, but the commencement scene literally gave me chills. I know I'm a psycho, stay with me here. And it just got me excited for what was next. And I feel like that's what kind of pulled the veil over all the FNAF fans throughout the entire movie. After that intro, you're just locked in, like, yeah, that's the theme song. All the OG animatronics are being shown. Like, this is really cool. But the second that intro ends, the dialogue in this movie is, I'm not even kidding, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out down the line that this was written by AI or something. Once the mimic spirit is set free by those spectral scoopers YouTuber people, Vanessa then goes to the original Fazbear Pizza place, and she's there to talk to Charlotte, which is the little girl spirit trapped inside of the mimic. And I swear, guys, I hate it when movies do this, but this one was the most egregious one, where they just kind of dump information on you like you're like a 2-year-old child. I get it, this movie's audience is mainly children, but like, even the kids, if I was like an 8-year-old watching this, I'd be like, do you think I'm stupid? She's talking to the mimic, and the mimic is literally like, I can't leave this place. And then Vanessa's like, yeah, it's called a perimeter lock. You can't leave unless I give you the password. And she's explaining how both the mimic and all the original animatronics are trapped within that location. They're like unable to leave, and it's an abandoned location. So good. Leave. They're trapped. Nothing else will happen. Set the place on fire. So once we get that, Abby finds out about the original location. She goes there, talks to all the OG animatronics, mainly Chica. Toy Chica's like her homie, who's voiced by Megan Fox, by the way. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, like, after seeing that performance, you could have had an AI robot say the same thing, and it might have done a better job than Megan Fox. A lot of the casting in this was very much like, we're just gonna put a celebrity here. I don't even think she was at the premiere. To me, it just is another job that could have gone to a voice actor that actually works hard at being Chica, because Chica just sounded like the most, like, lukewarm milquetoast kind of voice, And while Vanessa is being like trapped by the mimic at the OG location, Abby is at the new location with Toy Chica, and Chica's talking to her, being controlled by the mimic, saying, I want you to free me and my friends. There's this thing called a perimeter lock that you can help me, get down. I just need you to type this in for me. Just type a password into this computer, and we'll be able to roam free anywhere we want. So while Abby and Chica are at the new location, the mimic is showing a security cam footage of that location of Chica and Abby at the computer. and Abby needs to type in a password to shut down the perimeter lock that only Vanessa knows. So Vanessa's like, I'm never going to tell you the password, Mimic. Why would I put like thousands of people's lives in danger by giving you the password? And the Mimic is like, if you don't give me the password, princess, I'm going to kill Abby. And I'm like, dude, Charlotte is going to kill a child? This kid that was murdered that tried to save another kid is going to murder Abby because you're evil now? Which then Vanessa's like, I know you wouldn't kill Abby, but I get it, Charlotte. People were mean to you, so now you want to kill them all. Like, for some reason, Charlotte is just so pissed off that she was murdered and no one listened to her. She now wants to kill all the children and everybody in, like, the parents and everyone. Like, I get it, but at the same time, like, damn, dude. The Mimic forces the password out of Vanessa. Abby types in the password, and then all the OG animatronics are let out into the real world, ready to roam. While all of this is happening, Mike and Vanessa are pretty much fighting about why Abby is the way that she is. Why is she acting so weird? Why is she drawing pictures of her old friends? Which, by the way, she shows drawings she made of the animatronics to Mike. And as much as I love, like, Piper, the actor who played Abby, I think she's amazing. I'm not trying to criticize her as a person. I'm just talking about the performance. I swear to you, they say she's 11 years old in this movie. She acts like a 5-year-old. She acts like a toddler half the time. The pictures she draws of them are straight up like chicken scratch. Like, again, a toddler would probably do something like that. And Mike, her brother's looking at it like, wow. Okay, Abby, these are real nice, Abby, yeah, wow. Vanessa visits them, and Vanessa can easily just be like, hey, so I saw Abby at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza talking to Chica, and, she let them out, and this is like a really bad thing. Out of nowhere, Mike interrupts Vanessa, like the most forced conflict ever. He just kind of snaps and is like, that's enough. I don't want you anywhere around Abby. She's a child. She's just making these things up. It's in her imagination. She's not talking to them. Like, you're dumb, Vanessa. They get into a fight. Vanessa leaves. And I'm like, Vanessa, if you just told him what happened, I feel like he would believe you. I mean, you guys did just fight a bunch of animatronics a year ago. Sorry guys, this is the most like all over the place review, and I'm just kind of breaking down the movie for you guys, but like it's all coming back to me, and I'm just like realizing how much like little sense this made and how many forced conflicts were in there. While all of this is happening, there's a science fair happening with Abby's robotics class at her school. And Abby is really excited to be a part of it, but for some reason, the teacher, who's played by Wayne Knight, I love him very much. I thought he did what he could with the dialogue. They just wrote him as the world's meanest teacher, and I mean like genuinely Satan. Like, he hates children, he's bullying them, he like destroys their stuff. Like, it's kind of weird how they wrote him. Every adult in this movie is like the biggest douchebag, you know what I mean? At the same time this science fair is happening, there's also something called FazFest that apparently the city is throwing, or someone like organized this big kind of carnival type deal where it's all Freddy Fazbear related stuff. Apparently after last year's events, it revitalized the popularity of these characters, and people seem to really like want to celebrate them, cosplay them, and stuff like that, which in my eyes was really cool. They showed a lot of people cosplaying as the characters, and I thought, this is a fun looking scene. It's kind of an homage to all of the fans of FNAF, and I thought, alright, you're doing a little wink wink, nod nod, look at our community, they're all super supportive, and I thought that was a cool choice. So both of those things are taking place at the same time in the same weekend, and Abby decides she has to go to the science fair over FazFest. So she's at the science fair, and her project gets destroyed, and I mean straight up destroyed by her teacher. Like, he goes out of his way to destroy it, like in front of her, because he's like, oh, this is gonna suck, so might as well just break it. You're gonna cost me the title. And in the background, you see a kid with like a paper mache volcano, and it's like, you're destroying this like robotic thing that she made in her robotics class that actually looks really legit. And it just like, It makes no sense to me why this guy has it out for Abby so specifically. There's not much to spoil in this movie. I know I'm kind of breaking it down, but like, I have to tell you these things because of how ridiculous it gets. Long story short, Abby is really sad that her robotic project was destroyed, and she still wants to attend the science fair and win that trophy. So she brings Chica to the science fair and presents Chica as her science project, which I thought, okay, the teacher is going to see this giant robot, something that quite obviously is a massive robot, and go, oh my god, Abby, you made this is insane, this is going to be revolutionary, this technology is just way advanced for everything going on there. I mean, this kid deserves a freaking $1 million scholarship or something for this. But instead, since he's written to be the most evil teacher in the world, tells her and her friend in a costume, he thinks that's a friend in a costume, even though you can see wires throughout the neck and see through her torso, to leave and never come back and all that stuff. And you're just making it harder for us, and you're going to lose the project, championship, title, trophy, whatever the hell. Abby is really sad and then decides to leave, but Chica's like, hold on, let me have a talk with him real quick. Now, during the science fair, he somehow needs to get his keys, like in the middle of it. Like, it's not like they're leaving and he needs to go start his car. He just goes, oh, I left my keys in my office. Let me go grab them, which is in a closed off part of the school, so it's pretty empty there. There's no one really around except for like janitors and kids running around. Obviously, he runs into Chica, and guys, this is what I meant by that intro. This death scene, first of all, you can see it like a mile away, so I'm sorry if, oh no, the teacher dies. It's the most obvious death coming. The second he says his first sentence, you're like, okay, this guy's gonna die. They're setting him up for you to hate him, and they're gonna kill him off. He then sees Chica inside of a room. She pulls him into the room, which, that's realistic. He didn't see that coming. It's more of a jump scare, and he's just on the ground. But this is what made me so angry. She is moving, I'm not even kidding, slower than a snail. She's like, like incredibly slow, and this guy is like, oh my god, what do I do? Go that way, walk down the hallway, just go in that direction. You're not, what? He does the obvious, I'm gonna get up and trip over nothing thing, and he tries to hide under a table for some reason when he could just kind of leave the room. Like, I don't understand why he's just trying to hide from her when she is looking directly at him. Long story short, I'm not going to try and give away too many details. She kills him and says the worst line ever. It's the cringiest dialogue ever that genuinely isn't cringy in like, oh, they tried to say something and it's cringe. No, it's cringy like, really? Like, that's it? Like, that's what you guys decided to say in that moment? Like, anyone in the audience, the 9-year-olds in the audience, could have wrote a better line for Chica when killing someone. Like, it's that bad. After that, Mike realizes that all of the OG animatronics from the original Fazbear Pizza place are basically causing havoc all around the city. Now, they're not immediately killing everybody, they're just kind of walking around. People are like, whoa, cool cosplay. And it's like, it's fun to kind of suspend that belief, but a lot of it just makes it seem like everybody in that movie is just dumb. No one knows what to do in any situation. No decision makes sense. The rest of the movie is Mike going to the original location, and I thought this was the only really like, nice, I actually like what you're doing here part. He basically is playing Five Nights at Freddy's 2 in the movie. He's checking the cams, the OG animatronics are out. I mean, Foxy, Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, they're all out around the area, and he's on a walkie-talkie with Vanessa telling them, hey, I'm tracking the locations of the original animatronics. They're here, go there and shut them down. Okay, this one's over here, shut that one down. And all the while he's doing that, he's in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 OG location, checking cams, turning on lights, checking the vents. I thought that part was really cool because, again, it was a genuine homage to the game. When I tell you the time in this part doesn't make any sense because there's moments where like an animatronic is about to grab him and I'm being like they're right here in front of his face and he's like, hold on, let me shut them down right here. Let me just do this real quick. He takes like 5 minutes on the computer typing while like 10 seconds ago we saw Foxy like right here about to grab him. So the time and the way they edited that made it to where it's like, did Foxy just wait? Is Foxy just like it to be the night guard? You know, like I don't know. He ends up shutting them down and stuff, and they realize, oh, there's still one, you know, animatronic left that's alive out there. Like, what animatronic is out there? Oh my god, we forgot about the mimic. And so the mimic is at Mike's house, you know, trying to possess Abby because she just got back from the science fair. I forgot how she got home. I don't know how she was able to make it home from school with that. Oh, she took a taxi. I think she took a taxi, and Corey Kenshin was in it again. Shout out Corey. I mean, I doubt he even knows who I am. And so Mike and Vanessa rush to his house to try and save Abby. Long story short, the animatronic comes out of Abby. Mimic Spirit is still controlling the other animatronics, and they all meet up at Mike's house. It's like an Avengers level threat, if that makes sense. Now here's somewhat of a spoiler that I feel like a lot of the OG FNAF fans that know the lore might know. I don't know if this is lore in the game or if they made it up for the movie, but here's your warning. Here's like the ending twist. Give you enough time to hop off the video if you want. Okay, spoiler time. It turns out the guy that was the security guard for the original Fazbear Pizza place is Vanessa's brother. Yes, indeed, he is Michael Afton, the son of William Afton, and his plan is to carry on the legacy of their child-murdering father because crazy. So after Michael Afton comes into Mike's house and reveals himself to be William Afton's son, he goes to Vanessa and is like, Vanessa, join me, Vanessa. We can take these animatronics and rule the world, Vanessa. Like, it was just so cringe because she's like, no, I'm already home. And like, goes with Mike and Abby, and it's like, okay. And all the OG, like, animatronics were in the room. They were kind of circling them, the ones from the original location that were being controlled by the mimic. And it just like, it became this weird like final boss fight thing that didn't really make sense in the moment. And I'm gonna say this because this was by far the worst line in the entire movie, just because of the way it was delivered and the fact that like when he said it, the movie theater laughed and they were trying to play it off as like a serious evil guy. Once Vanessa says, nah man, I'm not joining your psycho team, he's like, crush them. Crush their bones. Who says that? So he directs all those animatronics to then crush their bones and smash them. Pause. As that's about to happen, the withered animatronics from the new location, the ones from the first movie, come out of nowhere and they just start ripping apart all of the evil versions of themselves. I'm talking withered Freddy, withered Chica, withered, Bonnie. They all come in, the big three, and they save the day. And the thing that makes it really, like, just, again, doesn't really make sense, and it's like, wow, this feels rushed, is as that's happening, Michael Afton runs outside of the house to try and escape, and another character I didn't mention because he quite literally is in the movie for, like, less than 2 minutes. That character clotheslines Michael. Again, a character that has no idea who this guy is, that's running out of a house, clotheslines him and says, where do you think you're going? You just assaulted a guy. You have no idea who he is. He wasn't present for any of the reveals or any of the I'm the evil guy or I'm gonna kill them. He just saw a random person running out of this guy's house that looked like he was scared. And it just was like, you ain't going nowhere. And I'm like, what? Like, how do you know he's a bad person already? And the worst part about that is the guy that clotheslines him walks into the house without Michael. They go outside after all the bad people were defeated, and they see Michael's not even there anymore. He disappeared. So what was the point of you clotheslining this guy? for them. What? Abby's really happy that her whole animatronic friends come to save the day, and she's like, yay, we can all be friends again, but uh-oh, the plot. They start short-circuiting and powering down and stuff like that, and Abby's like, they're dying, what's happening to them? And Vanessa's like, their power failure, it's happening. And it's like, no one mentioned that, like, charge them, get a new battery? I don't know, like, they don't have to die if it's just a power failure. Like, it's weird. It doesn't make sense. And I already gave you the spoiler warning. This is the, final part of the movie that kind of made me go, okay, they got to set up for another movie as all three of them are leaving the house. Mike turns around to Vanessa and says, stay away from me. Stay away from me and my sister. No more lies. You just bring lies. She just sided with you. She just was willing to give her life to be on your side, and you're mad at her for that because she lied about her brother. She didn't tell him she had a brother. That's why you're mad. So then, Mike and Abby, keep in mind, they're in Mike's house, okay? They're in Mike's house. And he's like, get away from me. And he leaves his own house to go, I don't know where. They just drive somewhere, and Vanessa's in Mike's house. Don't you think that if you're done doing all this and you're gonna go somewhere, it would be your home, and you'd be like, Vanessa, you leave? It didn't make sense. I'm like, Mike, why are you leaving your own house? Where are you guys going? The Little Caesars for a Freddy Fazbear Pizza? What's happening? And we get a close-up shot of Vanessa, and bada bing, bada boom, the mimic is behind her, and it possesses her. Her eyes go white, and then bam, cut to the credits. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I genuinely just ranted about the entire movie, and this review wasn't planned for me to do this. It's 45 minutes I've been recording of raw footage right now. I just went through the entire movie, and I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted for the review, but my god, I don't know how else to explain how bad this was, other than to explain to you the worst scenes. Oh yeah, William Afton, Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, the two incredible actors that I love, and I've met them both, and they're absolutely incredible people. Yeah, they're in the movie for like less than a minute. They got about like maybe 2-3 minutes of screen time. Skeet Ulrich's character, the father of Charlotte, the little girl that died in the beginning, has more screen time than Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard appears in a nightmare sequence and like a little bit of the intro, barely. You don't even see him really. Easiest payday of their entire lives. I expected more because of how much they were promoting them to be in the movie. Okay. I'm getting a little too hyped. This is still an ASMR video, guys. I hope you're doing well. All in all, guys, this is honestly the worst movie I've seen all year. And it makes me sad because I really somewhat enjoyed the first one. I thought it was decent. But this one, they just completely gave up. They just said, put whatever on there. We're going to make a lot of money. And they did. And I think that's why we need to be critical about movies like this. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars. They're making their budgets back times 2, times 3. And they're still giving us the same level of quality, if not worse. So we all know that the next movie's probably going to make even more than the second one. I mean, for all we know, these reviews might do something to the audience out there and be like, you know what, the second one sucked. I'm just going to wait for the third one to come out on streaming. But obviously, Blumhouse hit it out of the park when it comes to the money that they're making by getting this franchise and turning it into a movie. I'm just going to give you guys my rating on the movie and quit yapping about how bad it was. I'm going to give Five Nights at Freddy's 2 a 2 out of 10. And you're probably wondering why I gave it 2 and not 0. I saved the only good thing about this movie for the end so that the people who really wanted to see the review can hear the good right now. Other than the practical effects, the sets, and the visuals, nothing was good about this movie. I want to reiterate that they did an amazing job at making these animatronics, at building the sets of the original Fazbear Pizza. The movie looked beautiful. It was shot really well. I think the CG, when they did use CG, was barely noticeable. the animatronics were true to exactly how they look in the video games. Everybody just looked really good. And seeing the actors interact with physical objects, physical props and costumes versus like a CG kind of Freddy, I loved it. I thought that was the only way they could have done it right, and they nailed that. But all of the good stops there. There's no substance to the story. There's no sense when it comes to the dialogue, and it seems like everyone phoned it in. I think the only good performance was Skeet Ulrich, and that's because, he was only in there for a small amount of time, and his scene was very emotion heavy. I thought the little girl who played Charlotte in the beginning intro did really well, but other than that, man, everybody had no dialogue to work with. Like, I feel like you can take Leonardo DiCaprio, give him this script, and it would be hard for him to even make it feel convincing. But enough yap. I want to know what you guys think. Have you seen the new Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Please let me know what you think down below. And if you're a massive Five Nights at Freddy's fan and I got anything wrong here in terms of the lore, I'm just telling you exactly what the movie showed us. So you're getting the perspective of someone that is just now barely playing the games for the first time over on Respawn Ryan, link down below. And I understand why a lot of people out there that don't play the games are coming out of this movie like nothing happened. So FNAF fans, rip me to shreds in the comments if you want. I want to learn more about this. But until then, guys, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a good night. And please, don't forget to smile. Oh no. Oh no, now it's Freddy. Oh, guys, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here, Freddy. Let me I'll just get up. I'm just gonna walk very slowly this way. Are you good? Do you need anything? Do you want like water? I'm gonna head that way. He's getting a little closer now. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Good night. I'm just gonna walk slightly this way.